also come to this in the meantime. The Agriculture Department is currently investigating which strain of avian flu is killing birds in the Western Cape. Over 12,000 birds have died since it was first detected about 2 weeks ago. The disease was detected in 2 commercial farms in the Paardeberg area. And the viral disease is spread through contact with infected birds or even contaminated material. So let's find out more from Director of Animal Health at the Agriculture Department, Mpho Maja, joining me this morning for more on this. And Mpho, thank you so much for your time. Good morning to you. What do we know about the severity of this case, and as far as avian flu is concerned out in this particular municipality?
So far, we have 2 confirmed cases. I've just received a report of another suspect farm in the area. Avian influenza, unfortunately, is a very serious disease when it comes to poultry. Once it gets onto a farm, the mortality rate, the number of birds that it kills is 100%. So it is a serious incursion of virus in the area.
Yeah. The number of birds that have been killed so far, Mpho, is it still standing at 12,000, or is there potential that the number has increased or could potentially increase?
The number could potentially increase. The 12,000 was, I actually have 120, was on the first farm. The other farm has about the same number of birds. I'm not so sure about the third farm that is currently being investigated. So the numbers are relatively high, yes.
Yeah. Where are you right now in terms of investigations around this avian flu, especially detecting the exact strain of flu it could be?
The samples have been sent to the laboratories. We have Paardeberg Veterinary Research Institute, which is our reference laboratory. They are typing the virus. So far, we know that it is highly pathogenic avian influenza. And that's generally about all that we need to know to start acting. It is an H5 virus. We haven't typed the N yet. But the fact that it is highly pathogenic already indicates that there is a problem. We need to hold hands and make sure that we prevent further spread, we prevent further introductions onto other properties.
Yeah. And I suppose for further understanding and context, just maybe perhaps explain to us what exactly avian influenza is, what its characteristics are. You did mention that it's highly contaminated, can be highly contagious. And once, there is a detection of avian flu, early detection is important so that to stop the quick spread, it seems, of this flu. But what is it exactly?
Avian influenza is one of the influenza viruses. There's different types. We have human influenza. So this one particularly affects poultry, birds, ostriches, but it also has a nasty potential of mutating and affecting other animals, including humans. So far, we don't have any human cases reported in the country, and we are hoping that with the measures that we are going to put in place, that we will prevent mutation of the virus to a point where people and consumers start being concerned.
Yeah.
It's generally spread like flu by direct contact, or when farmers, workers, don't disinfect themselves properly between houses or between farms, use equipment that has been used somewhere else, feed trucks, trucks that collect eggs or birds between farms. It is easily transmitted just like that. One truck from a farm infected, going to pick up eggs from another farm. It leaves infection there, picks up eggs, goes to the next farm, and it spreads as easy as that.
Yeah. So it sounds to me like a lot of sensitivity has to go into disinfecting a whole lot of implements on the farm, be it equipment, be it whatever, produce. When you are a farm worker yourself, it seems that there's a whole lot of sensitivity that needs to be taken in terms of how you also disinfect yourself. But Mpho, as far as regions are concerned, are we seeing this avian influenza only in the Western Cape currently? How are other provinces faring, or any data whatsoever you received beyond just the Western Cape?
So far this season, we've only seen it in the Western Cape, and this season being the last month or two, we've only seen it in the Western Cape. The first case has been reported last week, and I'm hoping that the other provinces would not have any problems with avian influenza. But the sad reality is that it's also transmitted by wild birds. So farmers need to be very, very vigilant on biosecurity, making sure that they don't attract wild birds into their houses, making sure that the water, the feed is covered so that wild birds don't come onto premises, bringing infection with.
Yeah, and I just wonder, for those birds that are already infected, is there anything that farmers can do to treat the birds?
Unfortunately not. The mortality rate is very high, but it also kills them very, very quickly. And that is where vigilance also comes in. The first signs you see, please report the case, isolate that house, isolate that farm, make sure that we are very, very vigilant. It kills them fairly quickly, 2 to 3 days, they're done. So there's very little that can be done once they start showing signs.
Well,
the best measure is prevention.
Prevention indeed being the best, and in terms of also farm workers being extra careful and sensitive in terms of their biosecurity. Well, thank you so much, Mpho Maja, for having this conversation with me, the Director of Animal Health at the Department of Agriculture. With that being said, still more to